It's difficult, isn't it, when you think about it for King Charles? I mean, there he is trying to plan his coronation. And over in America, there are two people that seemingly are basically saying the one thing, that they don't wish to return unless the thorny topic of those titles for their children can be sorted out in advance. And it is a very difficult thing, isn't it? Because a lot of people over here in the United Kingdom simply think, well, why should they have titles? You know, you've decided to abscond over to the United States. You've no intention of working for the British monarchy. And really, only those titles can enhance the reputation of both Harry and Meghan. You know, they're very useful in monetary terms, as we saw, according to that particular instance, way back when the children were born. Let's not forget the domain names were registered. So there's something going there, isn't there, if you think about it in the long run. Now, the bigger picture is taking over, though, of exactly what would happen if, of course, King Charles was to give in or not, as the case may be. And as ever, according to a very good source, they told me this. Morning, Neil, Sean here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Nice as ever to have your company. A little bit brighter now, I know. It's nice to have a bit of free vitamin D, isn't it? Free sun, all that sort of thing, you know. Never easy when you're out and about filming every day, let me tell you. Although I do like the elements. A lot of people say to me, Neil, get inside. I like to be outside. I think sometimes you just feel a little bit better if you can force yourself out, however run down you are, as I say, or if you're feeling not well or anything like that. Just get near the window, open the window, let some fresh air in. Not for long if you're on a bit of a heating plan. I know what it's like. A hot water bottle is anybody's best friend, isn't it? I know. Shocking, isn't it? You know, you kind of run into the shop now and think, oh, that looks a lovely hot water bottle. You know, you're getting home. Terrible, isn't it? Back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. So this story is pretty amazing, really, when you think, because according to a very good source, Harry and Meghan, as we know, were very upset by the fact that both of their children seemingly didn't get the accordance of which they wished, you know, titles. And then we had the thorny topic going back and forth all of that summer about whether Lilibet would be christened at St. George's Chapel in Windsor, like Archie was, and whether they would give in, even though, of course, they lied about being offered a title. They didn't like that. The Earl of Dumbarton, and as I said before, a nice place, Dumbarton, nothing wrong with that, but they didn't like that title, so they've been offered that before. But now, with the coronation coming up, according to that good source, as we know, Harry and Meghan both are looking for a very public apology, and they feel, in the absence of that, that titles for their children could be the next best thing. It's a problem, you see, so don't believe the stories, as I said in a very much previous interview on Fox Business, where I pointed out very openly about the headlines that were around the world regarding Prince Charles giving a public address, or King Charles, should I say, a public address to the nation about the Harry and Meghan debacle. He's not planning to do that. It's a great spin by the newspapers, but it's not happening. But what is also not happening is this. He realizes that the public would not, you know, want to have these two children with titles unless they're locked down and unless they're useful to the monarchy. What use would it be, particularly for the British public over here? And given the fact that the problems the monarchy are having with the abolish the monarchy group, the anti-monarchy group, all of that, if they were simply to dish out titles for two non-working members of the British monarchy. And yes, I understand their children, I get all of that, but in time they would prove very useful for them. And what are they giving back to the monarchy? This is the problem, of course, that's been pushed forward by the Prince of Wales, Prince William. He very much is opposed to any of this. As ever, people call King Charles weak. He's not weak. He's trying to balance the books, as it were, for his child, his youngest child, Prince Harry, and also making sure that he does the right thing for history. But history basically always rewrites itself at some point. And the history over here is simply this. It would be one of the biggest mistakes so far of his reign if he was to let forward and bestow titles simply on two people that right now a lot of people over here feel are simply no use to the British monarchy, and moving forward don't believe there should be any part of the monarchy moving forward in the 21st century. The public has spoken, sir, so it's up to you to decide how you wish to push it forward. But it would be interesting to know, as ever, your comments below in the boxes. I think I know how this one will play out. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.